All right. Hey, everyone. It's Taylor. Welcome back to Above the Line, the live stream. Last Friday, we ranked half of the Cup Series throwback paint schemes, and obviously they weren't all out yet. So we're going to finish that off today and then also go into the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series throwbacks, kind of jumping on the bandwagon here. I know a lot of other YouTube channels are doing this. I know a lot of you fans, and me too, being a fan, are ranking our paint schemes for this weekend. So I feel like everything's out so far, at least that we know of. So let's get to it. Let's see. All right. So as always, I make PowerPoints. So we're going to go through the Cup schemes again. I have up here already what we've already ranked. So we'll go through that real quick. So on the bottom tier, what I ranked with Rob Branding. Hello, how are you? Thanks for joining the chat. Right now, what I ranked with Rob Branding last Friday. Agree to disagree. If we want to change some things now, we totally can, as we're also seeing them on the track this weekend. We've already seen some pictures from the haulers. Bottom tier, though, is Chase Briscoe's throwback, Austin Cindric's throwback, Bubba Wallace's, and Cole Custer's throwback. We felt that they didn't really resemble throwback schemes enough. They were a little too much something you would see today. And the sponsors really didn't, I don't think, work with the throwback scheme as well. I will say Chase Briscoe's, though, it kind of does. It really resembles Tony Stewart's Indy 500 run that he did, his paint scheme. So I might move that up, but let me know what you guys think. Then in the C category, what we ranked last week as well, we have Kurt Busch's McDonald's throwback. I will say this looked very similar to the original. It was just the fact that the McDonald's branding is too recent, and I was a little thrown off by that. I was surprised that they didn't really work with it that much. And then we have oh my gosh, Kevin Harvick's paint scheme. I totally was like, who is that? Kevin Harvick's paint scheme for this weekend. He's throwing it back to I think 2011, 2012 paint scheme that they ran. So that was in the C category. It looked too similar to today, but it's also Reaume's, I believe, 500th start with NASCAR. Yeah, 500th race as a partner. And all they're doing this to benefit St. Jude's Children's Research, which is an awesome cause. Then we have Chris Buescher's throwback. This one in particular, I just wasn't sure of. We ranked this one at C because the sponsor for this particular scheme didn't really change their color to match. I think that we've seen them not in person, but RFK Racing has posted photos of them live instead of just these pictures. It looks a little better than we thought. But the paint scheme is still pretty on par. Just the coloring was kind of off in our opinion. Then going to the B category, this is kind of the Hendrick category, we called it. None of them really wowed us this year. We were kind of surprised. I think last year, in my opinion at least, I mean, for me, Chase Elliott, I believe he threw it back to Alan Kulwicki last year. That was a really good scheme. I loved Alex Bowman's throwback to Greg Ives' crew chief. And then, I don't really remember William Byron's last year. I know I really liked it. It was a Valvoline throwback. And then Kyle Larson's was a throwback to his earlier racing days. But this year, I just wasn't really wowed by it. Now, I will say the William Byron one, I am going to move up personally for me right now because they fixed the coloring on the car. I don't know if it was just because of the picture, but when they posted this morning, I think on Hendrick Motorsports' Twitter page, the coloring for this 24 car was much darker and resembled almost exactly the original. The number was off, though. The way the number was shaped, and obviously number placement was off. But I am going to move it up here because it looks so good. It looks so good. I can't put it in the S category, but A category, we have Brad Keselowski's throwback to Mark Martin. Everything looked really spot on with this. I think the sponsorship with this one, at least, which is funny because him and Chris Buescher are sharing a sponsor for this race, was very similar, and it fits the paint scheme really well. And then Alex Bowman, his throwback was to Mark Martin as well. It's kind of like a Mark Martin type of weekend, Jeff Gordon type of weekend too. I thought his looked really cool, looked really slick. The only thing that was off about this one, of course, with the number placement, you're not going to have that number in that red spot on the car like Mark Martin had. So nevertheless, A category. Now S category is the God tier that we're playing with here. Personally, for me, I thought Corey LaJoie's was the best. You have that triple digit number there. I didn't know if NASCAR was going to allow that or not, but that's so cool. Stacking Pennies is on the hood of that car, his podcast. Super, give it a listen. It's really good. And then Harrison Burton throwing it to his dad, Jeff Burton. Really cool paint scheme there. I really liked it. Really resembles the original. And then Kyle Busch's throwback to an old M&M scheme. I believe this one is this the This is the 98 one. I did vote for this one. So I'm glad this one was in the mix. But let's add the rest of these to it. Now we only have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 9 more paint schemes to add to this. And then as far as I know, as everything updated yesterday, I believe there's been no new paint scheme announcements. So we're just going to stick with these are the only ones left. So let's kind of move forward here. Pull up the wonderful PowerPoint. Obviously, I love giving credit where credit's due to these designers. There's not a lot of the designers' names that were really put out there for these schemes, but first off, props to the designers for these throwbacks. I think this is some of the best that we've had in years, so good job to all y'all. And also, I do have credits for some of these, and it looks like they're going to be cut off, which is unfortunate. Let's see if I can fix that real quick. Maybe not. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, I'll put the PowerPoint somewhere else and I'll have the photo credits linked there. I'm sorry that they were cut off, but a lot of these paint schemes were taken from darlingtonraceway.com and from the respective teams' social media pages. So the first one we got here, let's see. We have Eric Almirola's throwback. He announced this one, I believe, yesterday, and this was a throwback to his grandpa, I think. Yeah, this is his grandfather, Sam Rodriguez, which started his passion for racing. And it was a really cool, he posted this video on YouTube. I really liked it. The paint scheme looked really cute. It's a little clunky. I will say that's just me. Let's see, Jim G, what'd you say? I'm a little bothered by the number placement on some of these throwback schemes. I would have to agree with you. I wish NASCAR was willing to work. I mentioned last time we did a live stream, Mike Joy made a comment saying he kind of wishes NASCAR would have been a little bit more lenient on the number placement this weekend, just, to allow some creativity. That would have been a bonus. I agree with Mike Joy on that, and I definitely agree with you that some of them bother me and ruin the paint guys throwback schemes a little bit, in my opinion. This game, though, I like. I think it's darling. I think that's a horrible word to use, but just kind of seeing the emotion in Almirola's grandfather's eyes, and he started crying a little bit in the video, and I mean, it clearly meant a lot to him. And this being Eric's last season, it meant a lot. I will say, I think, in my opinion, this might be the best throwback scheme because it is truly. I don't want to say it's truly a throwback scheme, but it has a lot of significant meaning. Like I said, it is a little clunky, though. I'm going to keep it in the C category. I think I might move it up to B, but I'm going to put it ahead. I think I'm going to put it ahead of Kevin Harvick's paint scheme just because it screams older. It screams true throwback, not like we're just going to kind of play with something here. So there is Eric Almirola's. We're going to move it ahead. All right, so we have JJ Gailey's throwback paint scheme. Now, first off, I love all these. I think near my hometown, we got one a few years ago, and I was like, I don't know what this is, but I thought it was super fun, super cool. He's throwing it back to Clint Boyer when he had that 2013 5-hour energy paint scheme, and I will say it is almost exact. Him and I believe, Cody Ware, their paint schemes look really, really good. They look almost exactly like the originals, but so this one's really good, and I have to give this one. I'm not going to give it an S tier. I can't do that, but it can't rank any lower than a B, in my opinion. I really like this. I also love Clint Boyer, so I'm a little biased. But because it looks so much like the original, I think I got to give it an A. A low A. I think it works fine for this one. Then we're gonna go to the next one. Cody Ware is right back. Again, this looks like the original. I will say, however, their Neurotech.com, their Neurotech Co. on the side of the car. I should be wearing my glasses, you guys. I do this every stream. I don't wear my glasses because I don't want to. So that's on me. But I will say the number placement on this one makes everything really funky. And it really, that block of the sponsorship cuts off the line that you see running from the front wheel to the back of the car. And that bothers me a little bit. So for this one, I got to give it, what do I got to give this one? I think I'm going to give this one not a B. A B. I'm going to give this one a B because, like I said, it does look a lot like the original. I'm going to rate it a low B, though. All right, and if you guys want to chime in, let me know. Let me know what you're thinking. All right, now I think we're going through the motions now. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay. Denny Hamlet. So, I think just Joe Gibbs as a whole is just throwing it back to Toyota this weekend. There's one in the Xfinity series I was a little confused about. We'll get to that when we get to that. But Denny Hamlin's paint scheme is a throwback to Denny Hamlin, with Toyota celebrating their 1,500th race, I believe, with NASCAR. They're doing a throwback, and Denny Hamlin, this is his 2016 Daytona 500 win. And it looks very similar, obviously, minus the number placement. I think this is pretty spot on. It doesn't wow me, but like I said, it is very reminiscent of his original, which gives it brownie points, in my opinion. So I'm going to have to give this one... Ooh, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Dale Sr. and FR Rocks. Oh, the Dale Sr. throwbacks. Tony, what do you think of the Dale Sr. throwbacks that we have here? There's a lot. There's a lot. That we've had this season. I guess I would say it's like a Dale Jr., Dale Sr., Jeff Gordon, and Mark Martin throwback type of weekend. We had, I think, 2 Travis Pastrana ones as well that we'll get to in the Truck Series. But I'm curious what your thoughts are on how well these teams executed those. There's some I'm going to get to. You all know there's one I'm going to probably rank like God tier on here too. It's not going to be surprising, but we'll get to it at the end of this, I promise. But for the Denny Hamlin one, Dennis Hamlin, it doesn't wow me. That's the thing, but it's a good throwback. I know my criteria is a little off in these. I don't, just because it's not that far of a throwback. It's the 2016. It's kind of lame a little. I also feel bad saying that. I'm going to give this one a C. It's kind of on the same tier with me with Kevin Harvick's throwback. It's nothing new, really. I'm going to give it that. And I think I'm actually going to move Chris Buescher's throwback up a little bit to Kenseth. I believe this is to Kenseth. I want to make sure it is to Kenseth real quick. Yeah, there we go, Matt Kenseth. Also, now a NASCAR Hall of Fame inductee. Very insane. I didn't think he'd be a first ballot vote. Nevertheless, I'm excited about it. I'm like everyone was very well deserving of the of their Hall of Fame nominations and inductions. Actually, the induction of the Hall of Fame members are happening on my birthday next year, so that'll be exciting for sure. Gemsy said the FedEx colors from 2016 look good on the next gen. They really do. Part of me kind of thinks he should go back to these colors. Just how after seeing the scheme, I thought like maybe they should tweak the colors a little bit on this new car. Maybe like throwing it back to 2016 for the rest of the season will give them good luck. I don't know, because he needs luck. He's doing real bad this year. I hate it. He has that one win though, but man. Though it's really not a throwback since it was 6 years ago. I do agree with that. All right. So Denny Hamlin out of the way. We already did Briscoe, Buescher, Kyle. Did we do? No, this is a new one. Okay. I'm having to like recall what I've done and what I haven't done. So this is Christopher Bell's paint scheme. Like I said, they're throwing it back for a celebration of Toyota's 1,500th NASCAR start or NASCAR race. Bell will run a scheme reminiscent of his 2017 Truck Series Championship. Again, same problem I have with the other Jogo's racing cars. I think this throwback time, they're not true throwbacks. This was, I guess, now 6 years ago. So which is crazy to say, because now I feel old. Nevertheless, I'm probably gonna give this one. Oh yeah, here's the thing. I don't know, you guys. What would you rate this one? I'm not sure. I feel like I don't know if I want to give this one a D. It just doesn't scream like anything different to me. Maybe that's the same with maybe that's just the same thing with Denny Hamlin's paint scheme, but I'm not really sure. I'm gonna give this one a high D. I feel bad about it. I feel like I actually need to move Briscoe's up a little bit just because I feel like the sponsor did work with him. I really do. So we'll do that for now. Tony, you said the 1998 Japan race, you should watch it. Coke sponsored them plus a little shoe throwing. I need to watch it. That's what I need to watch. I haven't watched a lot of like the exhibition races. Words. So I need to definitely get on that for sure. Now we'll get to those paint schemes in like 2 more after Joey Logano and I think BJ McLeod are going to get to those because oh my gosh, those schemes are so good. Jimsy, you said I'm not really a fan of Bell throwing it back to himself. It's a C- for me. Yeah, I don't know. I love when drivers throw it back to themselves, but it has to be meaningful. Obviously a championship is very meaningful, but when it was like, I think less than like 7 years ago, 8 years ago, maybe, I feel like that's a stretch, obviously, with the importance of Toyota having this 1,500th race. I would say that's significant, but you got to be careful. Hey, Gabe, what's up? Thanks for joining in. All right, so let's go to the next scheme in this category. Okay, here we go. Right on time. Okay, so Joey Logano is throwing it back to his old karting days, I believe. I want to make sure I get this right, so let me double check. He's celebrating Shell Pennzoil's 10 years with him, with the design to his quarter midget car. That's what I meant. And he posted a video going over this, and it looks very, very similar to the original. I like this one. I think I also like this paint scheme better than his last year, which is very odd. And I mean, it was very plain, simplistic paint scheme, but it just didn't fit. I feel like with the number placement, this is a car that looks the best with the new number placement, just because he has that Pennzoil logo in the right place, and then the shell at the top of that back wheel also looks good as well. That's my opinion with it. I wonder what you guys think about it. But I'm probably. Oh, I just sounded really what Cleveland there. I was born in Cleveland, so I have some of those twangs every now and then. I probably gotta give it. I really like. I might give it like a B. I might give it a B. I'm gonna give this one a B. Maybe like a. I'm gonna give it a high B because Cody wears the sponsor on the side of his car really does bother me. Part of me also thinks I need to move Kurt Busch out of the way. Let me know if I should move Kurt Busch up. Because if you've seen the original paint scheme that he's throwing it back to with Bill Elliott, they do look very similar. It's just it bothers me with the McDonald's logo and the McDonald's font being off. But I'm curious. Okay, it seems like we agree. Oh, come back. Okay, it seems like we agree. So that's a good start. Oh my goodness, I messed up my web page. There we go. Oh gosh, sorry guys. Okay, so let's move. Oh, okay, so yeah, we agree. That's good. I feel better about this now that we agree. So we're going to move forward quite a bit. Okay, here we go. So this is a scheme that we're going to also talk about again when we go into the Xfinity series rankings. Like I said, we're going to try to speed run this as fast as we can. But this is BJ McLeod throwing it back to himself. So this is his 2004 Super Late Model paint scheme. It will also be run, like I said, by Josh Williams in the Xfinity series. Like I said, I'm not necessarily a fan of drivers throwing it back to themselves, but this was a while ago, 2004. So I say it's definitely valid. It's a funky paint scheme, but I really like it. I don't know what we would give this one. Like I said, I like it, but there's a lot of flames going on this week, and I will say with all the Gordon throwbacks and everything, there's a lot of flames. So I'm gonna go. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think. Oh. I guess like at low C. Like it doesn't wow me. It does look very reminiscent to like what he's trying to throw back to. I will give it that, especially like if you're going from a different car to like this model car. It's very different from his late model to this. I'll give it a low C. I don't feel great about that. If one of y'all suggests something different, I will put it there. I promise. And then we have for me like the money of the weekend, and there is no debate for this. These two right here are getting an S tier. If you disagree, I need to know. I really need to know if you disagree with this. But obviously this is a throwback to Junior and Senior for their Japan exhibition race. I hope I said that right. Finally, like I've been trying to do it, but it's from 1998. We talked about this in the chat a little earlier. Let's see. Chastain is running it back to Dale Jr. and that he drove the number one. And then let's see. Ooh, my screen messed up. Okay, and then Daniel Suarez is throwing it back to Senior. So these are really cool. I believe that I believe I have that correct. And I know I've mixed it up, so let me know. But these are beautiful paint schemes. They're gorgeous. Now I know there was an issue. With the number. Apparently on Chastain's car, they had to change the number. But apparently they didn't change the number according to Bob Pockrass. Like they didn't change it, or no, they did change it, but it wasn't because of Teresa Earnhardt. I think was the theory that was going around that. So that's not the case, but the number did change. So it's like the classic one kind of scheme there. But no, the one car looks so good with the polar bear. Like that one for me ranks above, I think, Suarez's throwback. But let's see, Trackhouse Racing, hands down with the best throwbacks this year. I would have to agree. Let's see. Yeah, Senior was red and Junior was in the black. Thank you. Okay, I thought I had it right, but I also like associated the colors weird, so that's good. And then the one car rocks. It looks so good. So with that being said, last two Cup Series schemes, and then let me know if you disagree with any of them. We'll kind of go back through them all in the categories, and then we'll move on to the Xfinity Series. These are both getting an S tier. I would say my first place has to be this Junior throwback, the number one of Ross Chastain, what he's doing. Second, I honestly, I don't know if you guys are going to hate me for this, but I kind of want to keep LaJoy in second. His scheme is simplistic, but that triple number, you guys, it just looks so good. But no, I'm also kind of a sucker for Coca-Cola. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna put Chastain, then Suarez, then LaJoy, then Burton, then Kyle Busch, all in my S tier. Curious what you guys are thinking about that, but that's the S tier. In my A tier, I have Bowman, Byron, then Brad Keselowski, then JJ Yeley. B tier, I kind of had to have two of the Hendrick guys now. I kind of changed it up. We have Elliott, then Larson, then Logano, then Cody Ware. C tier is a little stacked, I will say. So I apologize about that. But I have Kurt Busch, Eric Almirola throwing it back to his grandfather. Then we have Buescher, Denny Hamlin throwing it back to himself. Then we have Kevin Harvick. Then we have Chase Briscoe, and then BJ McLeod. And then in D category are the kind of the guys where I'm like, they didn't change things enough for me to feel like this is a true throwback. It's just their sponsor being like, we're going to change things a little bit, but it has to be more recent. For me, this has to be Christopher Bell. Then we have Austin Cindric. I just am not a fan of the Menards paint scheme here. I know it's very reminiscent. I do understand that, but I personally couldn't put it above a D. Then we have Bubba Wallace. For me, this looked way too recent. I know that if you look at the throwback that it's throwing it back to, it looks great, but it looks like Moneyline wasn't really willing to work with them a little bit, and I might totally be wrong. And then we have Cole Custer throwing it in the mix. Yeah, so the Buescher throwback with a C, that one I wasn't sure of because it looked really good. Throwback to Matt Kenseth. Obviously, like we talked about, Kenseth being in the inducted into the Hall of Fame will be at least officially next year. I wasn't sure about that one. I just felt the reason we put it there was because the sponsor that they have for this race, they like the color just looked off because I think the sponsorship color is blue, and the blue with the yellow and the black just looked off for me. And I think it worked better with Keselowski's paint schemes. So I'm basing it off of, they both have the same sponsor, but which one really looked better to me? And I just didn't know if Buescher, but if you think, Gabe, I need to move Buescher's above to a B or even just like a high C, let me know. And I will definitely do that real quick. And then we're going to go on to the Xfinity series. So this is what I have for now. If you disagree, totally fine. Let me know. I do have all the ranking links in the description below. Who was Cindric throwing it back to again? Okay, so Austin Cindric was throwing it back to Paul Menard, I believe. This was to, let me see, it's to his, no, Rusty Wallace. Sorry, my bad. It was Rusty Wallace. He's throwing it back to Rusty Wallace. Totally my bad. Someone else is throwing it back to Paul Menard in the Xfinity series. Oh, that was, I think, Brandon Jones's. So totally threw off. But no. Rusty Wallace was his throwback. Also confused about that too at first. But yeah, so we'll come back to this at the end if we're feeling something different. But let's go on to the Xfinity series here. All right. Hi, here's my face. So there we go. So 2022 Darlington throwbacks for the Xfinity series. These I've just recently looked at, did some of my research as I always do. Like I said before, a lot of these images were taken from darlingtonraceway.com or the respective Twitter pages of these teams. Want to give credit where credit is due. I did have the credits at the bottom of these PowerPoints, and unfortunately they got cut off, which I'm a little irked about, but totally fine. It's all good. So let's do believe these are our Xfinity guys right here. All right. So let's begin. I can see why you would have Buescher car in the C category. I like Brad's car better. I do like Brad's car better. It fits way better with the theme. Alrighty, folks, let's get to it. So the 02. Let's start with the 02 of Brett Moffitt. He's throwing it back to Mark Martin. This is to his rookie season car in 1982. I would say this one, looking at the original, is a carbon copy. I think they did an excellent job. The only thing that's different is how the 02 is framed on the hood than how it was framed on Mark Martin's car. So that's the only thing that's a little different. In my opinion, or not necessarily an opinion, it is what's different. So because of that, I can't give it an S tier. Maybe like an A to start. I usually start like in the middle of the road with a B for all of these. I don't know. I might start this one. I might start this one at a B because it's personally not my favorite scheme. It never was my favorite Mark Martin scheme. But yet again, it's a rookie scheme, so you're working with what you got. Might start this one off at a B. Might move it to an A because it is very similar. I said. Jimsy, what'd you say? You said I'm upset that Penske's Racing didn't do a throwback to Rusty Wallace's Blue Deuce. I know. I feel like Penske dropped the ball a little bit with their throwbacks this year. I was a little bummed. But no, let's put this. Let's put that car at a B. All right. What else we got here? Next one, we got the 07. So this one actually looks very similar to the original. The only thing that's different is that swoosh by the 0 is not in the original car. But the 07, this is Joe Graff Jr. This is his throwback to Buckshot Jones. This is throwback to Buckshot Jones Pacific Georgia scheme, or Georgia Pacific schemes, excuse me, in 2001. Like I said, not a carbon copy, so I gotta mark this a little below what I think I would usually put it at. But it is still good. It's just the swoosh throws me off a little bit. So I gotta put this one I gotta put this one maybe at a C for right now. What are we saying about this? Mark Martin's throwback scheme is an A. I'll give it an A. You're right. I'm just hesitant on putting it there. I'll put it at an A. I trust you, Gabe. I trust you. The 07 is a C. I agree with you. It's definitely a C. All right. Moving on, though. Like I said, we're speed running this. Speed running it. The 08. Let's go to the 08 of David Starr. He's throwing it back to Bobby Dotter. To team owner Bobby Dotter, I should say. This is a throwback to his High Tools car from 1995. Like I cross-reference with the original scheme. Looks very similar. I'm not a huge fan with, it almost looks like the numbers moved forward on this one, which looks very odd, but it did to me. The original, like I said, it looked very similar. And it's also kind of impressive with the sponsorship and how they have it here. Like I said, not my favorite scheme though. It just looks clunky. Is like going to be my word of the day. I think with a lot of these, I got to put it at a C. It's on par with me with the 07. So we got to do that. And they also look the same. They have the same color scheme, which throws me off. 08 is a C according to Gabe. Yeah, that's where I would put it. All right, so moving on up. Okay, here's where we get into the good stuff. Because Junior Motorsports always knocks it out of the park. They always do such a good job. Sam Mayer throwing it back to Rick Mast, to his scheme from the early 90s. Now Rick Mast isn't actually someone I'm super familiar with, so I did some research. Pretty similar to the original. I think Joe Gibbs, Joe Gibbs. Whoa, Junior Motorsports. Sorry, guys. Junior Motorsports does a really good job with their throwbacks as always, though this one is not my favorite of their whole brigade. So for that reason, I think I just got to give it an A right now. I'm going to give it an A. I don't know. I think I got to keep the A category where it's at right now. We'll go back through it later, but like I said, speed running this. Speed. Okay, Ryan Vargas. First off, love this kid. His announcement to this paint scheme was killer. It was so good. He did this whole like sketch. It was incredible. But yeah, of course, throwback to this is Jeff Gordon, his Busch days with his Pepsi car in the 24. And the sponsor really worked with him, which was impressive because it's hard, I think, nowadays to find sponsors that are willing to work with you because they want their brand to be just totally intact. But yeah, this is his throwback to the 1999 Busch series when it was. Pepsi scheme. This one is an S tier, you guys. If you give it anything less, like I respect it, but I don't agree with it. And that might be the announcement video on my head being so awesome, but I gotta give Ryan Vargas's scheme S tier, God tier. Also, I forgot to explain this, the way I'm ranking these, because I usually have like an F category and like an A, like kind of like your letter grades at, like if you're grading a paper. I don't feel like it's fair to give an F category with paint schemes, and I've kind of thought this through because everyone tries their best to make these paint schemes work. The designers do a great job with what they're given, the sponsorship they have. I feel like an F tier is very harsh. So instead of an F tier, I kind of erased that and I gave an S tier, like a God tier, for everything that just deserves super recognition, because I can be negative, but I just feel really bad. So long story long, Ryan Vargas is an S tier. S tier. Gabe, you think it's an A? I'm curious your reasoning behind that. Gabe says Pepsi Throwback is an A. Very curious as to why. Always willing to hear you out. All right, moving on. Okay, so this is one of two Wrangler throwback schemes to Dale Sr. here. I think this one, in my opinion, was done a little bit better. It looks more vintagey to me, and I know that's like a bad way to grade these schemes, in my opinion, just to be like, what looks more vintagey? Obviously, because the picture is supposed to look vintage, so I understand that. But for me, this one's just a little bit more meaningful with this being in the Junior Motorsports camp. This scheme, I really like it. It's a simplistic scheme, but with Hellman's though, with the Hellman's branding and logo, it works perfectly because the colors match. I got to give this one an A, a low A in my opinion, but an A nevertheless. So we'll move on. Oh, well, I'll show you. Here's what we have right now. So let's go over what we have right now. I like to do checks because at the end of everything, I don't want to go back through and name everything off. I just feel like that's a little extensive, but we'll just go through this now. So we got the 07 Joe Graff Jr. and we have the 08 of David Starr at a C category. In the A category, we have Brett Moffitt's throwback to Mark Martin. Then we have Sam Mayer, Rick Mast, and then the 7 car of Justin Allgaier, throwback to Dale Sr. In the A category, then S tier, we have Ryan Vargas's throwback to Jeff Gordon's Busch Series days. That is. So we'll move on. All right, no, this one's an S tier in my opinion. Now I might be a little biased because I like the Looney Tunes, and I just think they did a killer job with this Josh Berry's throwback to Dale Jr. Throwing it back to Dale Jr. in his 2002 Looney Tunes car. He won in the Xfinity series at Richmond, I believe, is where he won at this. I think it's gorgeous. You can argue with me. Like I said, I'm always open for criticism, feedback, anything like that, but this is definitely an S tier throwback. Like I said, might be a little biased, but that's okay. Moving on. So this is the one that eluded me that I talked about earlier. I was going to get into it. Ryan Truex is slated to be in the Xfinity series this weekend. Very excited to see him back racing, especially Joe Gibbs. He hasn't announced the throwback scheme because a lot of the websites that have the throwback schemes on were updated yesterday, but not today. However, Joe Gibbs Racing posted this picture today of his car that he's running this weekend. I don't necessarily know if it's a throwback. I know he's one of the teams that is probably slated to have one. It wasn't official that he wasn't going to have a throwback. So did some digging. I'm still not sure what this is a throwback to, though. And maybe you can help me out in the comments. That'd be very helpful. But this is it looks like a test car. This might be a throwback to, I think this would be a little low if this is what it was, but to a Ty Gibbs win last year at Charlotte. Might be a throwback to that. The car looks very reminiscent. Or this might be a Kyle Busch test car throwback. Or it might just be a card just because, minimal sponsorship. I really don't know. For that reason, I got to rank it low just because it's not very clear what they're going for here, if they are going for anything. So this is going to be the first one in the D category. I got to give it Ryan Truex's throwback in the D category. Like I said, maybe some of you might know. Watch me not have put it in. Okay, well, forgot to put it in the ranking. I'll make sure I go back in there. I'm at the end because this literally came out an hour ago after I put everything together. So We'll pretend it's in the D category. Like I said, I wasn't necessarily sure if it was a throwback or not, so I think that's why I kept it out. But I'll make sure I put it in after the fact when I'm done with the stream. So there we have it. Hey, what's up, Frank? Nice to see you in the chat. All right. So let's see. Like I said here, just kind of refresher, we are ranking all of our Darlington throwbacks that we have so far slated as of today. At I believe noon is kind of the cutoff I gave everything. So right now we're on the Xfinity series. We finished the Cup series, right on to the Xfinity series here. Moving on though. Okay, so this is the one I totally messed up. This is Paul Menard's Brickyard 2011 winning car. This is the only win that he had. So this is very obviously carbon copy. This is beautiful. This gets an S tier because obviously the sponsor Menard's going to come back, work with them. Staple sponsor. This is a gorgeous car, and I don't say that often about the Menards cards, and I think it's just that bright yellow. It's either a color that kind of turns you off to the scheme, or it's a color that you're like, man, that is Menards. And for me, at least with this one, I really like it. This one deserves an S tier because it is a carbon copy. Really, really good. Brandon Jones throwback to Paul Menard. Alrighty. So dude wipes. First off, I like this scheme. I'm a really big fan. If you don't know, my preferences for throwback schemes are schemes in general. I love schemes with really clean lines, really clear color gradients. That's just my opinion on them. Curious what you guys like, but this is Anthony Alfredo's words throwback to Tom Hubert. This is Hubert's 2002 throwback to his Hill Brothers coffee car. Like you can kind of see the picture up there on the left, the front of the car. At least they look very similar. They look very nice. Obviously, there's a sponsorship difference, so there's going to be stickers that aren't on this car that are on the other one. I understand that. I totally get it. It works really well, I would say, but it's not one of my favorites. I am a really big fan, though, of the colors on this car, I will say. Question, who's driving the 24 now? I thought it was a Sam Hunt number. You mean which series are we talking about? Are we still the Xfinity series? Still the Xfinity series? There's not a 24 in the Xfinity series this weekend, I don't think, or at least not. Hold on. I might be totally wrong. I panicked, you guys. All right, here we go. So 24. Who is going to be in the 24? There is no 24 this weekend. That is correct. Okay. So let me know what you're talking about. I can hopefully look that up for you. But yeah, so there's that. This scheme, though, I gotta put it in. Look, prefacing this, there is a scheme. Tyler Reddick's actually going to be in the 48 in the Xfinity series this weekend, pulling double duty. Similar colors. That's what I'm basing it off of. I do like this scheme better than the one that he's going to run, even though I think it's a little bit more iconic in my opinion. I got to give this one a B, potentially. I don't know if it's a C tier. We might totally change it later. Oh, the Pepsi car 24. Okay. So the 24 car there is a throwback to Jeff Gordon's 24 in the Busch series, or I guess the Xfinity series. So that's, I hope that answers your question. I hope I'm understanding it right. And I probably am not. I'm probably not. But let me know. We'll definitely discuss that. All right. Moving on, though. 27. This one actually reminds me of a throwback scheme in the truck series. So that's why I was thrown off for a second, because I'm like, oh, this is another Michael Waltrip Hawaiian Punch throwback scheme, ? And then I was like, oh, yeah, it's clearly not. This is Jeb Burton's throwback to his father, Ward Burton, the 1992 winning scheme that won at Rockingham. We got to love Rockingham. But just the color scheme looked very similar. But if you look at this scheme to the one that his father ran, similar. Oh, okay, cool. Right, I was confused because Jeffrey Earnhardt drove the 24. Gotcha. Okay. It makes sense, Frank. Sorry about that. All good. No, there's a lot of number moving around this year, especially for drivers that aren't full-time. It gets confusing. Totally okay. This scheme, I love it, though. The Jeb Burton one this weekend. I love how the Burtons are throwing it back to their family members. I think that's so fun. Oh, here we are. Oh gosh, I got afraid that I didn't add this one either. I gotta give this one an A. I just think it's nice. The homage is very nice. And like I said, we'll go through at the end as we are trying to speed rank these, and we'll kind of go through the individual categories with y'all's help. All right. Moving on. Okay, I like this one. And I like, in particular, first off, just this picture. I know Photoshop, I understand, but I love how the team were like, hey, here's the original. Here's the new one that we're throwing it back to. I just thought it was really cool. But this, nevertheless, Myatt Snyder throwing it back to Ken Schrader. This is a throwback to his Red Baron scheme. He actually got on the pole with this scheme at Darlington. Fun fact. We didn't know he won the pole. Yeah, he won the pole at Darlington in 1987. So with this scheme, like I said, very reminiscent of the original. The obviously sponsorship being different is going to hinder it. I do really like this one. It is very pretty. I will agree. And they, like I said, did the best they can with the sponsorship. The model of car obviously is different too. I gotta give this one an A. I like I said, very, very pretty. I'm also a sucker for like the red and white schemes. It's just my personal opinion. This one ranks a high A though. Where is it? There we go. Oh, do I put it above the Mark Martin throwback? Do I do it, guys? I don't know. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna regret it later. I'll switch it up later. I promise. Okay. This one eluded me. This one I didn't know about. I will say they really tried to make this look like the original, especially, with the hood of the car. So I thought that was very inventive. Nevertheless, this is a Patrick Emmerling throwback to the Hall of Famer Ricky Evans. This is Evans' modified scheme. I thought this was very clever. Just not throwing it back to your typical Cup car, Xfinity car. So you have a lot of room to be creative or try to make it look like the original. But I will say this one's clunky and odd, and I just don't think it works. This might have to be the first. Did I already do the truck series? No. Oh, no. You're good. Oh, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. The comment there. I appreciate it. Obviously, I will give preface. Now, I haven't done the truck series yet to answer your question. I'm going to do that last. But I love doing the throwback schemes because my NASCAR history knowledge is minimal. I will say I'm a newer fan to the sport, and a lot of me doing my podcasts every week above the line and doing these schemes is so I can learn about the other series as well. But yeah, so it's been really fun to kind of get to learn a little bit more about the history, especially every year around this time. It's super fun. I'm actually, what's funny is my laptop is sitting on top of one of the NASCAR history books to kind of make my laptop higher on my desk. So fun fact there. We make do what we can. I'm not in my normal studio setup here, or I guess studio setup. That's also a lie. I work in like an office that's like the size of a pantry. So yeah, so that's what's happening right now. But no. I will get to the truck series after this. We're speed running the Xfinity series, and we'll speed run the rest of it. But this scheme in particular, let's see. This is like the first D, you guys. I just didn't care for it. I understood. I appreciated them trying to go all in on it, but I didn't care for it. I'm so sorry. Really, I'm probably about your age, and my NASCAR history knowledge is impeccable. I wish mine was, and I'm still trying to learn. That's my thing. I had the option to watch NASCAR my whole life, and I didn't. My grandma got me into it in 2016 with school and all the clubs and all the things I'm involved in. My time has been limited, and doing like 16 credit hours each semester of classes has been rough. So getting my degree's been my first focus. NASCAR is obviously something that I love, and I'm always trying to learn more of. But man, yeah, always trying to learn. Always trying to learn. So the 36 car. I like this one. Very reminiscent of the original, as you can see again in that little picture in the top left corner of this slide. So 35. Not 35. Sorry, 36. We got Alex. He's bringing it back to Mike McCrary, MCCRARY. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm so sorry. 1997. His throwback scheme here, like I said, very reminiscent of the original. Yeah, what a crime! I know. Every time I mention just. I like to say like I'm a little step above being a casual fan is how I always like to put like my knowledge set or like my set of being a fan. I love NASCAR. I really do. And always trying to learn more from other people from listening and everything. But no, I know there's always more learning to do. And that's what I love. If you don't love to learn, I don't know what to say. You gotta love to learn. The 36 car being very reminiscent. It is very simple though. I gotta give it a B. It's on par with the 23 here, in my opinion. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Okay, no. This one I kind of like. Now, I will say the brown on this car is a little gross. It just doesn't. I want to see this car like on my TV screen to just kind of judge it better. But I just wasn't a big fan of this Josh Reaume throwback scheme. It is to Bill Elliott, I will say, and I do like Burger King, so it's totally fine. This is to the 2006 Burger King throwback scheme with Insurance King there. I think. Did Josh Reaume do the same thing? Someone did the same thing last year. I really don't remember who it was, but it was like the same type of thing. I like that scheme better than this one, and for that reason, I think I got to give this one a C. I'm just not a fan of it. I don't know. Let's see. We'll give it a C. Alrighty, Bruni. I just sounded like Ned Flanders from The Simpsons when I said that. Very sorry about that. All right, so moving on. This is the one I said looked very similar to one we saw earlier. Looked very similar to, which one was that again, you guys? Oh yeah, to the Anthony Alfredo throwback, just with the colors as well. But this is more of a gold, so I will let it pass. I'll let it pass. But this is the Tyler Reddick throwback. He's pulling double duty, like I said, this weekend to throwing it back to Hall of Famer Bobby Allison. I like it. It looks reminiscent of the original. I mean, all of these obviously are, of course, but it depends to like what degree. The number font looks good as well. The front of the car looks a little bare. Like I said, with him pulling double duty, this not being his normal car, there's going to be lack of sponsorship. Though it's not, like I said, it's not totally my favorite either. It's lacking something, and I don't know what it is. I really don't. For me, I think this one belongs in the B category. Let me know if you disagree. I love Bobby Allison. I love the history there. Excuse me. But this one has to be a B. Now, if it's I don't know where it ranks in this category. We'll figure that out later for sure. I wish someone would have done a throwback scheme this year to Davey Allison. There we go. I didn't think anybody did one in any series. I don't think so either. We're gonna go through the rest of them. So you comment that, Frank. Yeah, we're gonna go through the rest of them and see, but I actually don't. I don't remember. There was, obviously Bobby Allison, the one we just did. But there was another Bobby Allison one too, but I don't think any Davey Allison ones. I think everyone got it out of their system last year, which I wish they didn't, because I love those throwback schemes. All right, this is the other Wrangler throwback scheme. I didn't think this one was done as well, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, this is, I don't know about this one. Jeremy Clements throwback scheme to Dale Sr. This is a throwback to his 1982 scheme, though. It'd just be getting more specific. I don't know. What do you guys think of this one? I think what did I rate Allgaier's throwback to? What was the Hellman's one? I rated it an A. I don't know if I should also give this one an A just because they're on par with each other. I will say, the number coloring is different. I get that. So I guess I got to give this one an A too. If you guys think it needs to be somewhere else, let me know. And I'll definitely change it. But I will have to give Clements an A as well. Part of me almost wants to rank it above because I feel like the color's actually better on this one. I'm just gonna slide that over. I hope I don't offend. Okay, I think we can agree. Okay, we are agreeing Clements is better than Allgaier. I said earlier I think Allgaier is better than Clements, but looking at it again, I'm like, Clements' scheme might be better, which is shocking because Junior Motorsports, they should have had it spot on, but I don't know if they actually did after further review. Okay, this scheme is awesome. This gets an S tier. This is Ty Gibbs throwback to Bobby Labonte, and oh my god, I mean they got the scheme perfect. I don't know what else to say. This is his 1983 throwback S tier. There's nothing else I can say with it. It's just gorgeous, and this makes me want to die cast now. not this one, but the original. S tier. This might be. This is gonna outrank Brandon Jones' throwback in my opinion. This is gonna outrank probably Josh Berry's. We'll come back to it. I don't know if I can put it above Ryan Vargas's just yet. 51, the reference of when Dale Sr. drove the 15 Wrangler car. Yes, exactly. Same number style to the 15 too. Yes. Yeah, it looks very similar. That almost makes me want to put Allgaier's not in the A category. We'll come back to it, I promise. We're nearing the end. We're nearing the stretch of the Xfinity cars. All right, 66, JJ Yaley, throwing it back to Bobby Hamilton, 1993 car. Sorry, I meant Bobby Labonte's car was 2002. My bad, totally my bad. This is the 1993 throwback to Bobby Hamilton. Like I said, very, very exact here. I gotta give this. I mean, it's plain though. That's my thing. I guess gotta give it a B. I will say, I might agree with you here. Frank. I'd give Allgaier maybe a C. Just it doesn't. I'll give it a high C though. High C. I always say that in these streams, and I'm like, oh, some high C sounds really good right now. I feel like I'm like 12 years old, like wanting high C. I always get Hawaiian Punch. Not high C, but like Hawaiian Punch from. Is it high C though? McDonald's? I don't really know. I don't know my brains at this point. They're all swimming in my head differently. But nevertheless, fruit punch sounds very, very good. Let's see. What would Yaley, a D. Ooh, a D. I don't know. I might keep it at B for now because it's very reminiscent, but maybe a C. You know, I'm gonna put it at a low C. I think we're right here. I think you're right. High C. Thank you. Yes. See, I get things confused. We're always confused. Anyone who knows me knows I get confused easily. All right, like I said, nearing the end here. So this is one that wasn't on the Darlington website, at least that I didn't see right away. But this is Brandon Brown throwing it back to Brandon Brown. And like I said, I don't really like when drivers throw back to themselves unless it's very significant. So this one already ranks lower in my opinion, though very reminiscent of the original scheme, which I can appreciate. This is his throwback to his first late model win at Old Dominion Speedway. Like I said, reminiscent of the original, but it knocks it back because I don't know. I mean, throwback weekend, you can throw back to anything, anytime, whatever. But it's just a personal pet peeve I have with these. I gotta give this one. It looks really good. I gotta give it a low C. I think it ranks above Yaley's in my opinion. Just because I don't want to say because Yaley's is plain. I don't want that to be the deciding factor as to why that I like this one better. But it is. I don't know, but then his is to Bobby Hamilton. I'm gonna put it at a low C. I don't think I can give it a D because it does look really good. Moving on. Okay, so already sort of did this one for the Cup Series with BJ McLeod. Now we're moving to Josh Williams. Throwing it back to BJ McLeod again. Like I said, another pet peeve of mine with BJ throwing it back to himself. But this is to his 2004 late model car at Orlando Speed World. I just don't see now that I see like the sponsor on the hood of this car of Josh Williams' car. I just don't like it as much. This one might honestly be an F in my opinion. I love the flames, I really do. This one just feels like an F to me. I'm just not a big fan of it. I'm sorry. If we disagree, let me know and I will move it up because this is as much as it's my ranking. This is also yours as well. I'm seeing everyone wants to move it to a D a little bit. I might move it at a low D. I'll put it at a low D. I feel bad that the 35 is kind of standing by itself here. Let's see. We got, I think, 2 more to go. So I'm also running out of breath. I feel like a guy at an auction. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is Mason Massey's throwback to his uncle, Marty Massey, his late model dirt race scheme in 2003. And it very much resembles the original, as you can see on the screen. Yeah, I can't. The only thing that's off is like the little bubbles by the front tire on the original car is not what I'm seeing on this throwback scheme. So that bothers me a little bit. But otherwise, kind of looking it over, it doesn't look bad. I don't know. I keep saying I don't know because I'm trying to question myself here. I gotta give this one, I guess, a low D as well. We're gonna have to break out this category. In my opinion, honestly, I'm gonna do this right now. So the C, in the C category. So for the 07, my personal opinion with Joe Graf Jr., throwback to Buckshot Jones, the scheme was too simple to mess up. That's my thing. However, the 07 has that swoop in the front, and the original did not, I believe, and that really bothers me. It's so simple, it shouldn't. That is, I'm going to move that to the D category right now. I guess we'll get that out of the way. Oh, did I not? I moved the wrong scheme. Hold on. I moved the wrong scheme. We haven't done this one yet. My bad. It's the 68 going up there in the C category. Okay, the 99 is the last one we have to do. I just totally realized that. All right, here we go. The 99. So we got Stephen Parsons throwback to his dad, which I love when drivers can throw it back to like their family members. I think this is cool. It's his 1998 car. Looks very similar to the original. If you look at the original, I like it a lot. Though, I mean, and I believe that is like pink outlining on the numbers. So I'm seeing that correctly. Let me know if I'm wrong. Like I said, not wearing my glasses. I don't know, you guys. But I like this one. I don't think this is a D category C. I'm gonna give it a B because I really like it. This I don't know. Let's kind of go through this real quick. This is what we have in the Xfinity series so far. You go B plus for the 99. I feel B plus. I kind of get you with that. I might move it up a little bit. The Hellman scheme is going to move down. All right, what else? What else are we saying in the comments? Jeffrey Earnhardt 3 at Talladega was better than a lot of these. Honestly, yeah. Honestly, I hope he can get another chance. What did you give Joey Logano and Harrison Burton in Cup? Let's go back to that real quick, actually, if I can. You're going to see my face for a second, I believe. Oh, no, you're just going to see the side-by-side. Also using StreamYard, if you guys can see that. Not a sponsor, but if you want to do live streams ever, I mean, I recommend it. They're pretty cool. Chrome tab. Let's go to, I think this is the right one. Nope. That one's okay. Ha. So this is what we do. This is what we do. This is what we did for the Cups series. So you're wanting to know what we give Joey Logano and Burton. Joey Logano's scheme, throwing it back to himself. I gave it. What did I give it? I gave it a B tier. I didn't think anything that Penske did this year was very wowing. I did like this one better than Joey Logano's one that he did last year. But it just kind of ranked on par. I think the number placement with this paint scheme looked the best in my opinion, but I just didn't feel like I could give it higher than a B. Harrison Burton's scheme. Where's the guy? Oh yeah, that's an S tier. That's an S tier. It looks so good. I didn't think I could give it anything less. So that's what I did with those schemes. But going back to the Xfinity series, you're gonna see my face real quick. Hi, how you doing, you guys? Gonna go back and here we are. All right, so this is how we rated the Xfinity schemes. Let me know if I should change anything. I guess we should go by category. And let's just go by each category. So last place, I have Patrick's throwback in the 35 to Ricky Evans. It was a throwback to Evans' modified scheme, and I just felt like putting a modified scheme on an Xfinity car just looked really odd. They tried to make the hood of the car look similar to what a modified would, and I just don't like it. And then the 07 Joe Graf Jr. Buckshot Jones throwback scheme, I wasn't a fan of it. Uh-oh. We have to load. That's not good. Hopefully we can get this to load, you guys. I'm so sorry. This is taking a bit. Is it not going to want to go? Might be my Wi-Fi. Not going to lie to you guys. My Wi-Fi sucks. Oh, here. It's been good to me so far this weekend. Or this week, I guess. It's been good so far. Let's see. How are we working? Uh-oh. I don't know. Let me know if you guys can see it. If not, oh, there we go. Cool. Okay, we're back. All right. So here's what we have. So that's the bottom tier. I think I'm good with keeping it that. I might move the 08. I might move the 08 of David Starr to C tier as well. It just didn't wow me. It was his throwback to Bobby Daughter, the team owner. I'm going to move that to D tier as well. It just didn't wow me. Going to move that a little bit below the 07. Brandon Jones, again, was a throwback to Paul Menard, his Brickyard win in 2011. I had that on an ester because it was a carbon copy, especially with the sponsor. It just worked, in my opinion. Excuse me. So there was that. All right, moving to our C tier. This is the one I think we're gonna have to break up a little bit. But let's start at the very bottom. The 91. I don't know why this one was at the very bottom, so I think I'm gonna move this one. But this is Mason Massey's throwback to his uncle Marty Massey. And then we have who's that? Josh Bilicki's throwback. Oh, no. Well, Josh Bilicki's throwback is at the beginning. I just noticed the marketing on that. So Josh's throwback, which I think is hilarious. to Bill Elliott, the Burger King scheme. I honestly like that one the least. I'm probably going to put that at the bottom. It's just the color of the car. I don't really like that much. But then let's see what else we got. What else we got? Josh Williams throwback to BJ McLeod. It's similar to the one that we're going to see in the Cup Series. I should have just ranked them on par. I gave BJ McLeod's ranking a C when I did the Cup Series one, so I think I got to stick with a C on this one. Ooh. All right, Frank. So I will guess your favorite in the Truck Series when we get to that one. I don't know. I don't know if yours is going to be like an obvious favorite or not. I'm very curious, but I will try to guess when we get to that. Let's see now. I think I'm okay with what I have in the C category where I put everything. I am a little stumped on that 66 JJ Yeley's throwback to Bobby Hamilton, his 1993 scheme, versus Brandon Brown's throwback to himself. I feel like the throwback to himself just has to rank lower, in my opinion. I don't know. That's the C tier. I think I'm going to stick with it. I think I'm going to stick with what I got. Let's see. B tier. B tier, I think I'm okay with that. Part of me almost wants to switch my C tier and my B tier. I feel like I almost did them different than what I should have. But kind of throwing up what I have here. So we have Parsons' scheme coming in first in the B tier, at least throwback to his dad. In the B tier, I had to put, after discussion, I had to put Allgaier's throwback to Dale Sr. in the B category because we agreed I think Clements did a better job. Dude Wipes 23, Anthony Alfredo's throwback to Tom Hubert, his 2002 scheme, put it in that category because it was simple. It looked like the original, but in my opinion, it was just a little too simple. Then we got that 36 of Alex, and he threw back to Mike. I think I'm going to say this wrong. I'm so sorry. McCrary. And then the 48 Tyler Reddick pulling double duty this weekend, throwing back to Hall of Famer Bobby Allison. I think those all are good in the categories they're in. Let me know what you think, maybe. And then if we're gonna go to the A category and S category, I think I'm set with this one, you guys. I think I'm set with this one. But at the bottom of the A category, we got that 27 of Jeb Burton throwing it back to his father, Ward Burton. The paint schemes look almost exactly similar, but I wasn't loving it as much, so I put it at the bottom of the A. Then Jeremy Clements throwing it back to Senior. Sam Mayer, Rick Mass's throwback paint scheme, also in A. And then we have the Mark Martin, Brett Moffitt throwback, also in A. And then at the top of the A category, in my opinion, has to be that 31 Myatt Snyder to Ken Schrader. I really like that scheme. Got tier, S tier. We got to have Brandon Jones throwback to Paul Menard at the bottom of S tier. And then this is where I might switch things up. But we have Josh Berry's throwback to Dale Jr., his Looney Tunes car. I love it so much. And then the 54, Ty Gibbs, Ty Gibbs throwback to Bobby Labonte. That one might have to be an S tier because I love Ryan Vargas' throwback to Jeff Gordon's Busch series days, but I think I got to switch him. I got to switch him here, and I honestly might move Ryan Vargas's down just a little bit more. Do I do it? Do we agree with that? Would we do that? I don't know. We'll keep it here right now. This is what we have right now on this tier list. We'll come back to it if we disagree, but let's move to the Truck Series. We're going to try to knock this one out of the park. Got to move the 19 if you want to move any. Move the 19 up? Are we thinking of moving the 19 up? I don't know if I can move it up. Let's move on. Let's move on to the Truck Series real quick. So here we are. We've gone to the Truck Series category. Welcome to it, everybody. I feel like we're getting ready to graduate. We're getting ready to move on. Let's see. Let's stop sharing. I'll also talk to myself through the stream, so I apologize. Words. There we go. Truck throwbacks. There's not a lot. There's not a whole lot this year, but that's all right. We will get to it, though. All right, this is Haley Deegan's throwback. This one I personally like. I said before, I like clean lines on a throwback and it just paint schemes in general, so this one already ranks high. This is her throwback to Hall of Famer Bobby Allison. I like it. This is his throwback from 1975. So we're going back a lot of ways. And this is how you do a throwback. You throw back like to tales as old as time, before the 90s, in my opinion. Or at least if you throw back to the 90s, that's fine. Anything in the 2000s is a little questionable, in my opinion. Though, yet again, we are like 22 years removed from 2000, which is a little nuts. This one, I don't want to put it in like the S tier. I don't necessarily know if it belongs there. But also we have a lot of flames to work with in this category too, which kind of is going to throw me off. It's going to be Battle of the Flames. This one, I guess I'm going to start in the A category. I hope we can all agree with that. Hey, James, what's up? What's up? Throwback is always a favorite. It's so good. I got to put it in A. Your favorite, I think, Frank. If we're looking at all these here. Well, you mentioned an Allison throwback earlier. I'm gonna guess your favorite is it Matt? I'm guessing it's Matt DiBenedetto. I'm assuming it's gonna be Matt. If it's not, then that was my one and only guess, and I was wrong, and I apologize. But Haley Deegan, I gotta give her an A right now. Okay, this one I thought was cool. This one I had to do a little research on. I went through this one with Rob Branning. I was stumped at first, but this is Blaine Perkins throwback to his crew chief, Doug George. This is one that he drove in 1996 with Ortho Lawn and Garden Care as the sponsor. So I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty neat. Oh, it's a throwback to a Truck Series champion. Oh God, I don't know. I have no clue. Oh, we're gonna go through these and I'll guess. It's not. So it's not Matt DiBenedetto. Shoot, give me a second. I'll figure this out. I promise. I'll try to figure it out. If I get one more guess, if I don't get it, I'll get to it when I get to it. If I don't get it, you're gonna have to tell me because I don't know. There we go. Cool. This one, I think it's really cool. It's very similar to the original. I think it's a really cute scheme. Actually, I like the grass. I hate calling these schemes cute. I also feel like that's really just not helpful to say. There's a lot of empty space on this car that I don't like, and I know it's a sponsorship thing. Probably, I gotta go with this one a B. Maybe it's so inventive. I might move it up to an A. Let's see what else. Okay, this is the one where I was like, oh, we're gonna have two of these this year. No, this is the Hawaiian Punch Michael Waltrip throwback. We have two, I think, DW throwbacks this year. And the Truck Series, at least, which I thought was cool. But this is Spencer Boyd's throwback to Michael Waltrip, his 1985 Hawaiian Punch scheme. I'm a little biased. I love Michael Waltrip. So for that reason, I got to put my bias aside. Putting my bias aside. This one, I think it gets a B. It's very similar to the original, I will say. But it's, in my opinion, it's going to be a B. All right. Speed running this. The beginning of the flames, you guys. Beginning of the flames. So we got the 16 Tyler Ankrum paint scheme throwback to Mike Skinner. It resembles his 2004 scheme. Again, I don't necessarily love throwbacks any earlier than like 2000. I mean, any more recent, I guess, 2005, like 2010 era. This is 2004, so it barely makes the mark. It's very similar to the original, but this obviously the sponsor in the flame color. The flame color on this one is more orange than the original. The original, I think, was more red. And I guess, I mean, again, that might be a sponsor thing that's happening here. So for that reason, I think I got to give this one, I don't want to give it a C because it's so cool. I'm going to give it a very low B. Might give it a C. I might agree with you, Frank. I might give it a C. All right. Like I said, speed running, moving on. This one's very similar to the original. This is Ryan Preece's throwback to modified driver Reggie. I'm going to mispronounce the last name, and I apologize. I practiced this earlier. I promise I did. Reggie Ruggiero? I hope I said that right. I'm so sorry. He currently works for SHR, so I very much apologize if I mispronounced the last name. I swear I practiced it, and I swear I probably forgot as well. This is one I gotta give a C. It looks really good, similar to the original, but it's not like great. So that's what I'm gonna say for that one. Moving right along. Oh, I guess I'll show you guys on the stream. There we go. This is what we have so far. Okay, next one, 18. I already pulled it up. I was like, what am I doing here? 18. So Joe Gibbs kind of has a theme this year, I would say, with their Toyota throwbacks a little bit. So this is Chandler Smith's throwback to Safe Light. That's it. That's all it is. One of the Safe Light schemes from 2013. I'm not a huge fan of throwing it back to not a driver. And I guess I could say the same thing to Kevin Harvick's scheme, where it's just throwing back to like the scheme itself. That, I think, for that reason, because I mean, it's so similar to what you could see today. Honestly, I got to give this one a D. I'm going to move this one to a D. It's too similar to what you would see today on the car. All right. Derek Kraus. I love this kid. He's cool. I got to interview him last year. I guess last year at this point with my buddy Zachary Bell, and it was really cool getting to talk to him. Definitely, kid's definitely talented, gonna go places, just gotta get him the right equipment all the time. Derek Kraus throwing it back to team owner Bill McNally in his 1990 late model car. Like I said, translating anything that's throwback. Oh yes, who was that a throwback to? I will say it again. Derek Kraus, this is a throwback to team owner Bill oh, I'm gonna mess up the name again. McAnally. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry. Put it in the comments below. But I think this one's a B. I'll actually type it in the comments below because I shouldn't say this wrong either. So I apologize. And this is another one that I practiced earlier. So totally my bad. But I'll copy and paste this in the comments below because that's what I'm going to have time for. There we go. McAnally. Thank you. Oh my God. I am so sorry, McAnally. Jesus. Okay. There we go. McAnally. Cool. So throwing it back to him, I love this paint scheme. The number, first off, the number different, which I appreciate. They changed the font. This one deserves an A in my opinion. I really like it. So we'll add it to the A category. Oh my God, no, you're good. You're good. I panicked. When I get flustered, I panic and then I mispronounce things. So you're good. You're fine. You're good. I also put this all together and did the pronunciations and everything, I believe, at like 2 a.m. So that's also on me. I blame myself. I'm a night owl. It doesn't translate well during the daytime, but I am a night owl. All right, moving on. Okay, this one is an easy S tier. This might be the first S tier we have. But if you look at the original that we have for this throwback scheme, Matt Benedetto did to Sterling Marlin, I gotta give this an S tier. It just looks so good. Let's see. Where's the tab? There we go. Ha! S tier. Looks very good. I don't know what we're thinking of these so far. I'll give you guys a second to look it over to kind of tell me what you think. Now, tell me what you think about the throwback right now, because I don't know how I'm feeling about the Truck Series ones. I feel bad about some of the ratings how I did, but I will say the Truck Series does a good job, like year in and year out. Even though they have some crazy things to work with here, just because obviously you're going from like a normal like stock car to a truck, so that's different. But yeah, Sterling Marlin throwback, I like it. The number's too big. I guess I can't agree with that. I guess I can. But then I'm also kind of like, if you're translating it to the truck, maybe that's why. I'm not really sure though. But again, speed running this. Moving on to the number 40 car. Here's what we got. Dean Thompson throwing it back to Dean Thompson, which I thought was hilarious. So the 1984 scheme. I think this one's very simplistic. It looks like the original, but like I said, it's so simplistic. I don't know if I actually really like it. I don't know if I want to give this one a D tier. I feel like that's really harsh. So I might give it like a C. I'm going to give it a low C. Moving on, because the goal is to be done with this at 4. So we're going to move on, keep on rolling. All right. This is the 42, correct? Yeah, 42. Okay. I believe this is the start of... Actually, I think this is the only Travis Pastrana throwback. Carson Hocevar, also love that kid. Super talented. He seems super nice too. I love the hats that he does every week. I just love it. This is Boost Mobile throwback design from 2012. Again, not a huge fan of designs coming from like any later than 2010, or I guess like any more recent 2010 and above. I do like this one. But it's almost too recent. I gotta give this one, I'm gonna give this one a B. I like it. I like it a lot. It does, like I said, looks like the original. I think it's kind of fun. All right. Is this one your favorite, Frank? I don't know. Is it? I don't know. I have no clue. But this one, the 43. I gotta catch my breath. This is a throwback to Mike Skinner, 2005. Yeah, I like the flames on this one. I think it definitely looks like the original. I really like this one. I gotta give this one an A, I think. I just think it's very inventive and very cool. All right, moving on. 44. And then we'll go back to the actual like tier list, because I just realized I haven't been showing that. So that's my apologies. 44 throwback, Chris Wright throwing it back to Hall of Famer Ron Hornaday Jr. To his 2009. Oh, this has to be your favorite, Frank. This has to be your favorite. To his 2009 scheme. Again, as throwback should, they look similar. I will say, so you say this is an A+. I'm curious as to why, Frank, you say this one is an A+. I was going to put it at maybe a B or a C if I'm going to be harsh on it. We see a lot of this red, white, and blue schemes, and they can kind of blend into each other. I mean, the Xfinity series, I think that might have been its downfall with someone, and they really blended into each other. This one I might give a B for right now. Be like a middle B. No, maybe a low B. That's just me. That's me. I'm gonna put it at a low B. I'm so sorry, Frank. I'm so sorry. Nearing the end here. This one I like. It might be the colors. It might be the throwback. I'm not sure. But Lawless Allen throwing it back to Jeff Gordon. A little, like I said, a little bias. Throwback to Gordon's 2007 Department of Defense DuPont scheme. This one, do I give it I'm going to give it an A. I feel weird giving it an S tier because I feel like that's me being a little biased. I got to move it above the 43. I do. Disappointed no one threw it back to any of Bobby Hamilton racing trucks. I know. I was a little stunned by that. I feel like the schemes this year, at least in the truck series, kind of threw me off. I didn't expect them to throw it back to like these ones in particular. I felt like there'd be a little bit more truck history throwing it back to, and they didn't. So it kind of disappointed me. Okay, favorite. Why? Okay, we'll go back to this one. This one is your favorite because same sponsor was when Ron drove it. That's fair. Plus Ron is Chris Wright's mentor. That's true. There is meaning behind it. I will say maybe that moves it up. I'll move it. I'll move it at least up in the B category. I don't know the scheme. At least I can move it up any farther. But in terms of meaningness. Oh my God, meaningfulness. Oh, you said this one's a C. That's interesting. Huh. I gotta give this one an A. The Gordon throwback. It's weird seeing it on a truck. I will give it that. So maybe that knocks it down a little bit. Okay. This one's S tier. I know I said like if it's not like a truck scheme throwing it back to, or if it's not like a truck series team throwing it back to a truck scheme, or even to just like a regular stock car, everything else is going to look funky. This looks fantastic. Stuart Friesen and their team knocked it out of the park, throwing it back to modified racer Jack Johnson. Ooh, this game's pretty. And like the words. I'm so excited about this one. I'm losing my words. The sponsor changed the font, changed the color gradient to everything to fit the original. The number, like it is so perfect. This is the clear S tier in this one, you guys. I'm sorry if you don't agree. I'm fine with you disagreeing, but I can't agree with that. This one's like the top of the S tier. Stuart Friesen and then knocked it out of the park. I don't know who designed this car. Like I said at the beginning, all the designers of these cars deserve the most credit. Every weekend they do. This is the weekend where they get to be creative and throw it back to paint schemes past, pay tribute to designers past of these cars, and they did a really good job. I got to give that one an S tier. It is so cool. So cool. All right, we are nearing the end. Like I said, we got 2 more paint schemes, I think, that have been announced for the throwback weekend. Chase Purdy, this is another throwback to Darrell Waltrip. This is to his last truck start in 2005. So we are a little bit more recent, which I don't like. The flames, I will say, are in the right spot, though, which I appreciate, because I know sometimes with the throwbacks, you can mess up a little bit of like the simplistic things, but I like how the flames look exactly similar. I like the flames, too, and the colors on this one. So I'm also a little bias on the fact that it's also DW because I love the Waltrips. So trying to take bias out of it though. Oh, you think this is a D? Oh my goodness. I gotta give this one a B, I think. Maybe a low B. I think it's fun. All right. That's Purdy. That's going on the board. That's Purdy, pun intended. I appreciate that, James. Thank you for doing that. I love puns. I love like segues as well. A lot of my above the yellow line videos, I put in horrible segues to bridge the gap between the segment I'm starting with and the segment I'm going to. They're always horrible every time. If you want to hear horrible segues, check out Above the Yellow Line every week. Usually comes out Tuesday afternoons. Okay, last scheme before we go back through all of everything to rank. Toyotas are still a Tundra in trucks. Wow, it's been a long time. I know, right? I know. All right, last throwback scheme. Now, this is the one where I was like, this one looked very similar, though it's a different throwback. Colby Howard, throwback to GT Gordon, throwback to the 1970s scheme. it is hard to mess up the scheme. So they did it really well with exactly where that white line goes across by the top of the car, the gold on the top, right on the bottom. It's hard to mess up. It's very simplistic. I mean, where do they rate the other simplistic schemes? I guess is how I'm going to have to determine this. You know, I gave some of the ones with the simplistic lines, I put them in the B category. I will say that. In the C category, I rated the very simplistic schemes. I'm between a C or a B with this one. You guys, what do we think? What do we think? It does look like a lot like the Bobby Allison Coca-Cola scheme. You're right. It looks a lot like from the Xfinity series. It looks a lot like Anthony Alfredo's throwback scheme. It also looks a lot like it looks very similar to the scheme that Reddick's throwing it back to in the 48 that he's going to be racing in the Xfinity series this weekend. That is a throwback to Bobby Allison. It looks like a Bobby Allison throwback scheme. That's what I thought when I originally saw this one. I mean, I guess it was just like the scheme of the time. I don't really know. I think just for that reason, I guess I got to put it in a C category. Okay, so I guess we're gonna closing it out. About microphone. Hello, microphone. Where I tried to move over and like my microphone just decided to like totally jump on me. So let's go through these. I feel bad. We have the Lone Ranger in the D category here. So I apologize. But in the D category, all by his lonesome, Chandler Smith, Safe Flight throwback. C category, we have the 91. We just did this Colby Howard throwback to JT Gordon words. Then we have the 40 of Dean Thompson throwing it back to Dean Thompson, and then the 17 car Ryan Preece throwing it back to a modified driver Reggie. I'm not even going to do it. I'm so sorry, you guys. Practice the pronunciations earlier. Can't do it. Then in the B category, we have Chase Purdy throwback to Darrell Waltrip. Then we got the 40 throw to Chris Wright to Hall of Famer Ron Hornaday Jr. Then we have a Travis Pastrana throwback done by the 42 of Carson Hocevar. Then we got the 16. I do really like this one, actually. I might move it up. Tyler Ingram's throwback to Mike Skinner. The only thing I didn't like about this one was the color of the flames was different. Then we have the 12 throwback to Michael Waltrip. Sensor Boy did it. And then the 9 throwback Blaine Perkins did to crew chief Doug George. Let's see. Let's look at the comments real quick. What are we saying? Do you know anybody who will ever do Kenny Irwin Jr. throwback? I think someday somebody would do a Kenny Irwin throwback. I would hope so. Maybe next year. I think the fans should petition for what they want to see next year, starting now. Because I think there were some really good throwback paint schemes this year. I think it's like I said, the best in years. But there's still some drivers I'm shocked that we haven't really seen a lot of throwbacks to, or throwbacks at all to. And then moving on to the A category, top of the charts in my opinion. We got the Mike Skinner throwback in the 43, 45, throwing it back to Jeff Gordon. The 19 Derek Kraus throwing it back to team owner Bill McAnally. The one of Haley Deegan throwing it to Hall of Famer Bobby Allison, and then S tier, God tier. These two paint schemes, in my opinion, win in the truck series, hands down. They just look so good, very close to the originals. Is the 25 of Matt Benedetto throwing it back to Sterling Marlin, and then the 52 of Stuart Friesen. So good. Such a good throwback to Jack Johnson, modified driver. Very good. I think I'm gonna keep it. So this is what we have in that series. I'm going to try to, let's see if I can share my screen with the other series as well. Let's go back to Xfinity just so you guys can see it one more time. This is what we had for the Xfinity series going all the way in. And if you want to rank these yourself, I have links in the description below to all these tier lists that I made. All of the images used for this stream were taken from darlingtonraceway.com, or they were from the respective teams' Twitter pages or the drivers' Twitter pages. I have them linked in my PowerPoint slide that I used for this as well, if they were wanting to show up, if they were willing to or not. And then we'll take it back and we'll put the Cup Series one on here as well, just so you guys can see that one last time. Chrome tab. Again, we're talking myself through it. It's totally fine. This is what we did for the Cup Series again one last time. So that is our rankings for today. Hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for sticking with me. Obviously, I really want to see your rankings, so tag me in them on our social pages at _TaylorKitchen_ on Twitter. Just post your picture of what you ranked. I'd love to see them, love to comment on them. Just tag my name on Twitter and let me know. Also follow Above the Yellow Line on YouTube and Instagram. We post behind the scenes. We also do teasers about what we're going to post, when we're going to post our latest upcoming content. And then obviously follow Toby Christie.com on all social media platforms. That's where we are on YouTube right now. Make sure you follow the channel. Make sure you do it. Also turn on the bell notification if you want to know when we upload our latest. Usually I post on Tuesday afternoons, Tuesday evenings, depending on the week, about my recaps and previews for the upcoming NASCAR Cup Series races. We also have more content from drivers or at track interviews, exclusive things. So make sure you follow us at TobyChristie.com on YouTube, as well as visiting TobyChristie.com for all great and more motorsports content. I also want to make sure I thank sponsors and their partners at Above the Yellow Line and TobyChristie.com, SRI Performance, PFC Brakes, DoorDash, and Rhino.co for being great to work with for TobyChristie.com, and also the TobyChristie.com team for allowing me to bring my channel Above the Yellow Line to their network. Very excited to be working with all of them. But that is it for this stream on a Friday afternoon. I know I said I wasn't going to do one, and then I was like, you know what? It would be a shame not to. So I just threw it in the afternoon instead. We got truck racing tonight. We got Xfinity tomorrow, and then Cup racing, obviously Mother's Day on Sunday. So thank you all for watching the stream. Have a happy Mother's Day. I'll make sure to celebrate all the moms out there. And until next time, I'll see ya. Bye.